And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner. In the bottom right-hand corner of Leylines, we have the Polish Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Team Liquid. The player manager of the team, bear that in mind, it is MaNa. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have one of the players that he manages. We have one of his own boys representing Team Liquid. It is the French Terran player. It is Clem. Here we go again. Of course, MaNa did step up and he did take a more managerial role in the team as of quite some time ago, quite a number of years ago. I mean, quite a few years ago at this point. MaNa has been stepping up and stepping up into that role, into that place, and with that I'm sure he has been organizing boot camps for the players, of course does organize the players for WTL, for team league matches, and I'm sure it does other work behind the scenes. But in recent months, over the past 6 months, I want to say that MaNa has been improving quite a lot, has been improving as a player, even though he was focusing on content creation and on other aspects of his career in years past. Here he has been looking quite competitive, quite impressive. Meanwhile, we do have Clem going for the eBay block, being as annoying as possible. Yo, Clem, be careful. You don't want to get your pay docked. You don't want to... Ay. Does delay the expansion. And behind this, it should be setting up his factory as well. Typically, when you go for an eBay block like this, it does mean that you don't have the resources to go for the expansion, so you can't afford a CC, so we see the factory instead. Despite the single gas opener. Is typically the downside of going for the eBay block. So he does delay the expansion, but likewise, Clem delays his own base as well. As MaNa is able to expand, thankfully MaNa was able to react in time, and the eBay didn't really block the base for too long. Typically we'd see a greater and longer progression on the eBay, and it takes longer to deal with, but MaNa was so quick and so fast to respond, to react, to handle that situation. So nicely done here by MaNa, is able to take his base much faster than his opponent, of course. Meanwhile, Clem back at home, going for his own CC on the high ground, just to be safe and secure, to make sure he doesn't get harassed. And we have now our tech of choice, MaNa going for the Stargate. Okay. Bold move. We typically do reserve Stargate play for larger maps just because it is safer to do so. We saw this, we did talk about this previously in the Gabe series against DNS, where Stargate play can leave you vulnerable. And every game that DNS opens Stargate, Gabe all in. Gabe, he went for an all in just because, again, you have that much less to work with. What I mean by that, Phoenix's Stargate openers and Phoenixes, they do an amazing job at shutting down drop play. They shut down drops and they do a great job at scouting and harassing. What they struggle with though is defending, because especially against like a bio-based all-in with some tank support as well, with some cyclones, it means that the Phoenixes, they can lift up one unit at a time. They can lift up one marine at a time. They can do a really good job at picking off high-tech units like a cyclone or like a tank, but that's what the bio is there for when you're going for the all-in. It can be quite difficult to really have Phoenixes pay for themselves when you're up against that sort of thing. So it can be a bit of a risky maneuver to go for Phoenixes on smaller maps. Despite that though, MaNa does embrace it. And checking the vision of Clem, he did not scout the main. He is not aware of what's going on, doesn't know whether it's a Twilight Council, a Stargate, or a Robo. So Clem is in the dark. For now, taking his natural, going for some drop play, going to be a Marine Wooderman drop across the map, and just settling into his 1-1-1. So no major signs of aggression. Yes, he is moving out with a drop, and we'll see if MaNa can respond in time. Does have a spotter adept. Adept is somewhat in position. Oh, but barely will miss the medevac. Does miss it moving out. Phoenixes are amassing, but alas, MaNa, he is not aware. Clem is going for the main. Does scout the tech. He's aware of the Stargate. Widowmine does not burrow. Is lifted. Ooh, but one Phoenix goes down. And nice pick up here from Clem. Takes down a Phoenix, pulls away, gets 3 probe kills. Oh, but the medevac is going to be hunted down. It looks like it will not unload. Does unload 2 Marines, but in the end, MaNa, he will defend. Does defend, and again, this is what Phoenixes can excel in. That is denying drop play. Denying drops. It's what they do best. Behind this, Clem going to be following this up with a Banshee production. Cloak is almost done. Banshee's on the way. Very aggressive here by Clem. And we'll see if we can get across the map unscouted, as MaNa takes his own third. So MaNa expanding, taking his own third base. It is going to be Phoenix Opener into a Robo. Interesting. Also old school here, as this Robo typically will lead into a Bay into Colossus production. Phoenix Colossus used to be the meta. For, I mean, most of the more modern era of StarCraft. I'm referring to like 2019 onwards. Phoenix Colossus was very much so permeating throughout this matchup, but in recent years, this has died off. This is a lot less common, assuming that this is going to be Phoenix Colossus. Here we go. As the Banshee does hit the main, probe's going to be going down. Is there any detection? There is not. Ooh, no detection here for MaNa. The Observer's on the way. Main army hits the third. MaNa is in position though. He will defend. Oh, without losing 5 pro. Oh, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, barely not 8. 7 probes do go down. Bit of a missed shot there towards the end. Regardless, nice damage here from Clem. He gets 7 probes and lost mine time in the main. And he backs off. Does retreat. Still has another Banshee. Has more potential for damage. Pulls away for now. And it is, in fact, Phoenix Colossus. There it is. Bay is on the way. Bay is on the way here. As MaNa does collapse in, getting on top of the Cyclones. Last one Cyclone goes down for a Phoenix. Once again, a 1-to-1 trade. Meanwhile, the Banshee moves out. There is an Observer in position. This time, MaNa is ready. And the Banshee is going to be thrown away. We'll get 3 probes. This time, not as worth it here for Clem. And MaNa holds. MaNa, he's holding on. He's again working towards a Colossus, working towards the safety Immortal. Trying to catch out the army. Oh, he gets caught instead. Phoenix goes down. Nice sidestepping here by Clem, focusing down another Phoenix. The Cyclone gets saved. Oof. And again, against this kind of more swarm-heavy composition, against the more bio-heavy composition, the Phoenixes, they do struggle. How many Phoenixes have gone down so far? 4. Down to 3. 3 Phoenixes left. Clem, he reinforces, keeps pushing, getting his third base on location. He has map control. The Observer does spot the army. But just because MaNa knows what's coming doesn't mean he can stop it. The Colossus is halfway done. He needs more time. Does need more time as Clem, he rotates. Hits the third base. Stepping on forward. I mean, the shield battery is buying time, is helping the Colossus. It is going to pop out. But with the arrival of the Colossus, MaNa, he can hold. Lockdown is brutal. Lockdown gets broken. Widow Mines gets shut down. And Clem, instead of reinforcing, is going for a drop on the right-hand side. Does get the Observer. Spotter Adept does not spot the drop. But Clem does reveal his hand. Phoenix is coming in. The Widow Mines. No! Oh my god. Mine shots are not baited out. Clutch on borrow there out of Clem. Again, the bait was real. But MaNa doesn't take the bait. Oh, looks like there was, once again, some connectivity issues at the time. There we go, MaNa. He will clean this up. Oh, not without taking mine shots to the face. And Clem is just looking to pull MaNa apart. It denies the 4th. Expansion's cancelled. Clem diving in with the armies out of position. MaNa caught with his pants down. Force a recall. Robo falls. Massive pick off. And he wants a Colossus. He wants it. And he gets it. And barely will take down the Colossus as well. There was no shield battery. Reinforcements, they're coming from behind. They rally in. Jesus. Bit of a miss rally there from Clem. Got too excited. With that MaNa, he will hold. But those are some brutal losses. He lost the Colossus and the Robo, which means we only have 1. No more Colossi. Just the 1 here for MaNa. And to make up for it, there we go. 2 more Robos on the way. That will help, but there's a period in time here where he's going to be stuck on 1 Colossus. And MaNa's vulnerable. MaNa is vulnerable. Clem building up. Phoenixes, they move out. My shot does connect on the Zealots. As MaNa, he's rotating. So he's rotating. We have the Dark Shrine on the way. I mean, makes sense. When behind, Dark Shrine. It's time. Dark Templar on the horizon. MaNa trying to reestablish that fourth base. It was denied time and time again. He wants his expansion. But MaNa this entire time has been refining his army. He's been being aggressive and active with fire, that is true, but now he has Vikings. Now he has Ghosts as well. 7 Vikings, 5 Ghosts, 4th base. The 4th base is on par with the Protoss, which is terrifying. Typically, the Protoss wants to be up in expansion, but he's even on bases. Which, again, is never a good thing. Finally, the Phoenixes, they get some damage done. They catch out a Viking, a Marauder, a couple of Marines. Bearing in mind that typically the strength of these Phoenixes is not just to shut down drop play, but to harass in these mineral lines. But Clem, his bases have been left untouched. They're still untouched. Have any SCVs fallen? 0. 0 SCVs have gone down this game. Just because how active and how aggressive Clem has been. Just not really allowing MaNa to move out across the map. Until then. Meanwhile, the Colossus count is building up. So is the Viking count. MaNa getting ready for his DT counterattack, but there is a turret in position. Not really much on the ground, though. Ooh, as Clem, he does notice. Does spot the army, he turns back around. Boys are being pulled, some workers will fall. But Clem, he defends. Does defend, they can now focus on his push. Rallying across the map. Clem, he's max, he's up 50 supply. And MaNa, he's going to have 4 Colossus, which is great and all, but there's no Storm, there's no Disruptors. He's heavily reliant on the Colossi. That's what the Vikings are for. Oh, another Zealot round by there does distract. Clem, he turns back around once again. Clem out of position, SCVs are going to go down. As Clem, he rotates. He'll be losing 7 SCVs back at home. The Colossus are exposed. Does take a big blow to the face, but does survive. Oh no! Oh my god, bit of miscontrol there. It does rally forward. Does overextend. 1 Colossus goes down. The 5th base is killed, not cancelled. 14 SCVs do fall, but now Clem can focus on the push. He can focus on the fights. Brutal EMP. And he still preserved the Viking counts. Getting another Colossus. Oh my god, almost. Casito. He wants it. EMP lands. Colossus, they're barely standing. Oh my god, the Vikings are going down. MaNa, can he hold on? Viking count gets reset. Mainly Marine here for Clem. He has to back up, but here come the reinforcements. Here comes the second wave. Remember, Clem, he had kept his reinforcements at home, terrified of a Zealot run by. But alas, there was no other reinforcing wave of Zealots. And now Clem can just keep pushing. Now, I'm most impressed that MaNa did preserve 3 Colossus. They're barely standing, but hey, they're up and running. They do as much DPS as a full HP Colossi. But I expect as soon as 1, 2 of them go down, I mean, they just topple over. They were barely standing. And GG gets called. Clem will take game number 1. GG. Does take lead in the series. And I do appreciate MaNa's build. Again, it's been a while since I've seen Phoenix Colossus, I'll be honest. It's, again, very much so phased out of meta. The reason for it is, of course, players, they got so much more better at punishing it, at punishing that kind of style, punishing that kind of play. Blink Stalker openers are just much safer. They're just much safer. On top of that, you also had like pioneers like Max Pax and Hero, known for Max Pax, of course, known for his 4-gate blink, and Hero known for his blink control in general, who also kind of led the charge and did popularize Twilight Council play instead, away from Stargate, and in the end, everyone did kind of follow. And again, as we mentioned, like we saw that Terran players over time did get better at punishing Stargate and punishing Phoenixes, as we saw here, for example, where MaNa just could not be active on the map. Could not move out. And we saw something similar earlier between DNS and Gabe as well. And that leads us into game number 2. Game number 2 is going to be on a much larger map on King's Cove. Ooh. And this is where I should emphasize, as we were alluding to in the previous game, when it comes to Stargate play and Stargate opener, they're still very much so viable, don't get me wrong, but they are typically easier to get away with on larger maps. Maps like Neon Violet Square, Abyssal Reef, or even here, like King's Cove. As spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of King's Cove, we have the red Terran player, the Polish Terran, representing Team Liquid down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back and force the ace match. It is MaNa. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the French Terran player, the blue Terran representing Team Liquid, leading the series 1-0. It is Clem. Another thing to bear in mind as well is that over the years, the maps have been getting smaller. That is an intentional thing, by the way, but maps, they have been shrinking over time. Long gone are the days of Altitude and Ancient Cistern. I say that this map pool is an exception to that in a sense. What I mean by that, all the modern maps are smaller, and what are the largest maps in the current map pool? The old maps from 2017. I'm referring to here, King's Cove, Abyssal Reef, and Neon Violet Square. This is also why there's a lot of controversy about why these maps were chosen. We don't have to get too much into it, but basically, over the past couple of TLMCs, the map makers were told specifically specifications or guidelines that they should be making smaller maps to avoid turtle play, to avoid that kind of late game turtle style that was quite prominent a couple of years ago, even last year, even to be fair, in TVZ. So they have been intentionally making smaller maps, and then ESL comes out with an extended map pool that features old maps that are huge. And it's like what's going on? Like what's the plan here? Why are you telling us to do one thing and then you do something different? So yeah, that's very much so a controversial decision to introduce maps like King's Cove and Neon and Abyssal as well, as they are the largest maps in the map pool, just because all the others are smaller by design. Regardless, we're going to be settling in. We do have our Rack Expand economic opener here out of Clem. And likewise, MaNa going to be opening up with his own Gate Cyber Expand. Standard options all around. If MaNa were to open up Stargate, I do think it's more viable here on King's Cove, but we'll see. We'll see if he does deviate and go for a Twilight Council or a Robo. As MaNa, he is scouting, making sure that nothing is amiss, making sure there's no proxy setup here, no proxy starport. As Clem does move out with the initial Reaper. Initial Reaper does move out. And we will soon get embrace our tech. It's going to be on Clem to get a read on what's going on. There it is. Stargate behind the mineral line. Reaper dives in. And the sentry should be able to zone away. Ooh, one probe goes down. Nice pick off here by Clem, but he's deflected. And again, this time I'm a little more on board here with MaNa. He was punished last game for the Phoenix play, but should be a little bit more secure here. Should be. As the second probe goes down, this first Reaper is getting quite a lot done. Two probes falling. Behind this, Clem going to be opening up at 1-1-1. Racks expand into factory starport. There's the add-on swap. With this, Clem can go into early Banshee production. And the Hallucination does get eyes on the add-on swap, is where the tech labs. Do we go Banshee or do we just open Raven? What is the plan? Regardless, MaNa is aware of the production setup. Does affect the Reaper. Is going to be the initial Raven from Clem. Interesting. Raven is on the way. And again, Clem did not get eyes on the tech. He does not know what's going on. And it is Stargate, but it is not Stargate Phoenix. It's Stargate Oracle. Okay, so this is just designed to harass. Just going to be harassing across the map, getting economic damage. And MaNa from here should be switching into a Twilight Council. So Oracle does move out. Oh, okay. Oracle into Phoenix. That I was not expecting. And that's a Robo. That's a Robo, not a Twilight Council. This once again looks like the beginning of Phoenix Colossus. I'll be honest there. Does look like Phoenix Colossus. We're playing like it's 2023. Let's go. As the Reaper gets shut down. Clem likewise moving out with the Raven to harass across the map. The Oracle has yet to dive in, but Clem is getting in position. As a reminder, he did scout the tech of choice, so he's waiting for the Phoenixes. He's building up his Marines, and the Oracle gets zoned away. Oh. So once again, we did have those connection issues. Meanwhile, as we mentioned, Phoenix Colossus, yep, Bay is on the way for Colossus production. But it looks like MaNa is investing less into Phoenixes. He's got the one Phoenix on the right-hand side that can hunt down the Raven, that is true, but he is not making any more. So much lighter investment here, or very minimal investment from MaNa into Phoenixes, which means MaNa's going to have less map control, but he's instead switching faster into the Twilight Council. And I say faster, switching into the Twilight Council into, I would imagine, Blink Stalkers. He could go into Charge. They both have their place. As MaNa, he's hunting down the Raven, and oh, he barely will miss it. Remember, he saw the tech lab on the starport earlier. He knows that there's something. He knows that there's either a Raven or a Banshee. And, oh no, he barely, once again, Clem, he threads the needle. The Phoenixes, they're looking. They're searching. They barely miss it. The Raven survives for now. Somehow. Jesus. Does survive. Behind this is going to be Charge, not Blink. But MaNa, he's just building up back at home, securing himself on 3 bases. And Clem is moving out. And the Raven lives? The Raven just survives, yeah, okay. Just Clem things. Clem moves out. Thankfully, there is a stasis trap to scout. MaNa will have time to respond. Stasis gets baited here by Clem. He's looking for another stasis, but he runs into the army. Close in position. Raven dives in. Ooh. Takes down a Phoenix. Takes down almost another as well. The probes, they go back too soon. 2 more probes go down. So nice damage here by Clem. Considering the Raven should have gone down for free, I mean, was able to get more value than he should have. Getting a Phoenix, getting some probes, denying mining time. Value was gained. Now again, this is one of the big features of King's Cove, is how defendable you are on 2 bases because of the ramps and the choke points coming into the natural and the third. So MaNa, he should be much more secure here at his 3rd base, more so than in the previous game. But the 4th is the issue. The 4th base is more exposed, whether it's this low ground 4th towards the center or towards the left-hand side as well. It is much more difficult to expand and hold on to the 4th base. It goes both ways. As the Oracle does hit the 3rd, not bad. Getting a mule, denying mining time. Clem moving out with his own double drop. MaNa, he attempts to expand, but Clem is ready for this. And MaNa, he is denied the expansion. MaNa, he has to build up and gain control of the low ground first before taking the base. As he's waiting for his 2nd Colossus. Reinforcements on the way. Clem, he doesn't want to give up on this position. The reinforcements are a little bit too late. The tank goes down. Not bad. Tank has fallen. 2nd Colossus has arrived. Clem dives in. Oh, he does force a cancel. Oh, he gets a kill. Gets a kill in the Nexus. Ay, ay, ay. That should not have happened. Stasis goes off, though. Clem, he might be punished. As the Bio Army is trapped. Clem, he might just dive on the Colossus. There is potential. Vikings, they zone away. Breaks out of the stasis. He sims in. Yeah, he will get the Colossus. Massive pickoff. Clem being very opportunistic. He saw the opportunity, went for it. So suddenly the stasis was worth it. He gets a free Colossus. I mean, quote unquote free. As the army was going to die anyway. I'm coming in from the left hand side. Trying to pull apart his opponent. He's attempting to pull MaNa apart. Keeping his attention towards the left hand side. Moves in on the right. Colossus is ready. MaNa, he defends. He holds. He is holding. So far, he's expanding, getting his 4th base. It's getting up and running. Wasn't easy, but he gets it. Clem forced to retreat. But Clem, he's consolidating his forces, consolidating his army. He's up in supply. He's got Vikings, he's got Ghosts, and he's looking to knock down that 4th base for a 2nd time. We can see MaNa double expanding, getting now a 5th. As Clem takes his own 4th base. Oh, and the Colossus are exposed to the Vikings. The Vikings, they can just wreak havoc. They can chase this down. They get one. One Colossus goes down. And MaNa cannot engage. He just cannot engage. The base is going to fall. MaNa just cannot expand. The Prism goes down as well. Yeah, rough movement. Oh. As looks like there were some connectivity issues here as well. Oh, we lost the French stream. No. Come back TV. As VX going to be going off. Storm is done in 10 seconds. MaNa, he needs more time. A little bit more time here as the Colossus are going down to the Vikings. And GG gets called. Storm is not going to be good enough as Clem, he breaks through the defensive line. And Clem will take the series 2-0. GG. GG, well played, Clem. He will take it. Again, MaNa just not unable to really get into the swing of things here, both in game 1 and in game 2. MaNa, he was just pinned against the wall, was stuck, trying to expand, trying to get a 4th base, trying to get into his own build, his own army composition, and he just barely wasn't able to. Almost, but not quite. Not quite. Again, Clem was just so active, so aggressive, so assertive in this series. And GG. GG, well played. Again, this is one of the downsides of these Stargate openers, of course, is that, especially here in game 2, where we saw less of a commitment into Phoenixes, is that there was no map control. There was no map control. Instead, MaNa, he was stuck at home, stuck defending. That's how the dynamic typically is with Colossus-based builds and Colossus-based follow-ups, is that you're stuck at home until you build up your Colossus count. But alas, he wasn't able to build it up, was picked apart, and GG. GG, well played. Clem does take it, and with that, that wraps up our final series of the night as we wrap up Group C. Here we go. Again, Group C did conclude. We had quite a plethora of matches here, and it was a lot of fun seeing some of these otherwise quote-unquote lesser known players facing off against Gabe and Raynor. We had DNS. I say lesser known, I mean everyone knows MaNa and DNS as well, but I should say the favorites in Gabe and Raynor did drop maps. They were forced, or they were brought to the brink, and I still stand by it. There's a world out there where potentially DNS brings down Gabe. Game 1 was so crazy and so chaotic, and even in MaNa's series against Raynor as well, there were a lot of opportunities for MaNa, so they had more of a back and forth. It was a lot of fun to see. We saw that Raynor and Clem were more dominant towards the end of the group, but towards the center there was definitely some contention there. And for those that are curious, I mean, again, this event did occur back in December, back last year, end of 2024. In the end, it was top 2 make it through the group, and in the end it was Gabe and Clem that made it through the group stage. Fun fact, I actually didn't get to see, because we were casting at the time, I didn't actually get to watch Raynor versus Gabe, but apparently that was a banger, and Gabe did defeat Raynor, did bring him down. I mean, Gabe, he has the home field advantage, and Raynor at the time, he was saying how he was feeling very much so out of it. Not that he was out of practice, but that he was just out of shape and out of form, that he was just, not feeling at his best at HomeStory Cup. And in the end, Raynor did not make it out of the group stage. He was knocked out here in Group C. And again, it was a brutal group here. To be in the same group as Clem, the same group as Gabe, and the same group as all these other Protoss players as well, was not an easy one there for Raynor. And yeah, again, if you want to tune into the VODs of HomeStory Cup, you can check them out on YouTube. We did live stream it at the time, and the VODs are all there. They're all split up. There's a playlist with all of HomeStory Cup. We're here just going over the replays of matches that didn't get casted live at the time. So we're just catching up on these otherwise forgotten games. So we did want to showcase them at some point while we could. Ideally, we did want to cast these closer to the main event, but we were very busy throughout December, and of course we did take 2 days off in December. How dare we? We took off Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, so we did take off some days. So because of that, we didn't have the time, and we had to squeeze in these casts in January instead, but we have wrapped up. we have now caught up. We have wrapped up the HomeStory Cup coverage, and with that, hope you all enjoyed yourselves, and look forward to the next HomeStory Cup as well. Again, so far here on the CranKy Ducklings, we have been the B stream for HomeStory Cup for the past 2 editions, for 25 and 26. So look for, I think were we there for 24 as well? Ooh, I know we cast the qualifiers for 24, but I don't think we casted the main event. Regardless, has been a lot of fun, and yeah, do look forward to covering more of HomeStory Cup in the future. As we mentioned before, they are brutal casts. They're 12-hour casts, or I should say day 1 was an 11-hour cast, day 2 was 11.5 hours, so just under 12 hours. It's quite draining, it's quite intense, but it's always a lot of fun, so do look forward to it in the coming year in 2025. Do look forward to it. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Our next broadcast is going to be in 9 hours. Yes, in 9 hours time. So we're going to be live in 9 hours. I'm most likely going to go get some breakfast. I'm going to go get some breakfast. Going to go take a break. Focus on the VODs. I have to catch up on all these VODs, and I do have to publish the Elite League VODs tomorrow, so I have a lot to get into. For those that weren't here for Elite League, that was an 8-hour cast. Was that yesterday? Yeah, that was yesterday. Yeah, that was yesterday. Jesus, it ruined me. It was an 8-hour cast, and I think we casted 13 matches. It was crazy. It was 12 best of 3s and 1 best of 5. It was a lot of fun though. It was a lot of fun and very energetic as well. Despite it being 8 hours, we were there for it. We were there, and I do recommend checking out those VODs for Elite League. So again, I do have to publish those tomorrow to YouTube, so going to be working on all of that. And again, our next cast is going to be 9 hours. That's going to be Masters Coliseum MC8, Masters Coliseum, the playoffs. We wrapped up the group stage last week, and now we're here with the playoffs. It's going to be 3 days. Oh, actually, do I have the technology? I don't think I do here. Not in this scene collection. Unfortunate. Don't have it quite set up here, but throughout the next 3 days, we have Masters Coliseum, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Likewise, we also have the KSL on Saturday. So KSL is going to be, Saturday is going to be Korean StarCraft League and Masters Coliseum, and Sunday is going to be the Thermal 2v2 tournament replays and Masters Coliseum as well. Masters Coliseum, it is going to be running throughout the course of the month of January, and even though we have 3 days of playoffs, that won't wrap it up. I think that's only halfway. We still have like another week, another round of playoffs, and maybe another round after that as well. So a lot of content, a lot of StarCraft, a lot of casting here on the CranKy Ducklings. If you enjoy the content, you can of course follow us here as well. You can follow us on the CranKy Ducklings. We are live on a daily basis, multiple times a day as well. Multiple times a day. We're always here, always there. Let's go. Let us go. Do you ever sleep, Pappy? I did nap a couple of hours. I was able to get 3 hours of sleep today. Let's go. But I most likely am gonna sleep after this cast, before Masters Coliseum. That is the plan. Here we go. Here we go. Playing like Pluralist players can finally remember they can use other tech aside from disruptors. Copium. Team casting stream. You're welcome. You're welcome. Always, Pappy. Always. Yo, what's with all the crying in the chat? Oh my god. Calm down, everyone. Calm down. Yo, the discussion isn't about max packs. The discussion, it's about Clem, Pappy. Clem, best Protoss in Europe. Confirmed. Kappa. But it has been great. I look forward to seeing more of Clem's Protoss in Masters Coliseum. We most likely will. Actually, hold on. Is Clem playing tonight? Master. Oh no, wait. No, Clem he's out. Oh my god, that was crazy. I got ahead of myself. For those that are unaware, Clem, he got knocked out of Masters Coliseum last week. Oh, yo, that was a smooge day. That was for those that are curious, Clem, technically, if he was playing in any other tournament, he would have made it through. But Masters Coliseum has a unique rule set, a unique rule set for the group stage. Usually in the group stage, it's map wins, then map score, and then wins, then map score, and then head to head. Then head to head here. But instead, for Masters Coliseum, they don't care about wins. They don't take into consideration map wins. They go overall score and then head to head. They don't take that into consideration. So because of that, Clem did not make it through. There was a lot of controversy there as well. A lot of people were like, "What? Why is Clem not making it through?" And then Masters Coliseum, Masters Coliseum, they're like, "Well, we don't care about his wins." So because of their rule set, Clem did not make it out of the group stage, and yeah, he is out of the tournament. Crazy. He's out of Masters Coliseum, and Spirit made it in instead. Spirit and Zound. God, I forget that. That was wild. So yeah, regardless, so Masters Coliseum is going to be tonight. We're going to be casting, who's it going to be? It's going to be Hero versus Estrella in a PvP and Reina versus Spirit in a ZVT. It's going to be 2 best of 5s, if I recall correctly. I believe they're best of 5s. Yes, they are best of 5s. So 2 matches tonight, and then tomorrow is going to be Zound versus Max and Cyril versus Gumiho. Oh boy. So look forward to it. Just me. Oh good. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. We do appreciate it. Again, do consider following us here on the channel if you want to support us. You can follow us on all the social medias. You can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Discord. All things CranKy Ducklings. You can also support us on Patreon, as our Patreon is set up to fund our tournaments. All the money goes towards our events, goes towards StarCraft, goes towards the players, so you can help fund us via Patreon. Otherwise, you can also follow us on YouTube, as we are live. Actually, we're live everywhere. Live on YouTube, live on TikTok, live here on Twitch, live on Facebook, and on Kick as well. All the streams are live. VODs are on YouTube on a daily basis. I'm gonna head offline. I'm gonna actually work on the Elite League VODs here and now, so we can publish them tomorrow. And with that, thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. We'll see you guys later on tonight for Masters Coliseum. I'm gonna go get some food, get some work done, then have a proper nap, and we'll be back for Masters Coliseum 8, day 1 of the playoffs. See you then. Until then, hasta luego. Ciao, papi, ciao. Hasta luego.